What if the world you perceive isn't the ultimate reality, but a carefully constructed simulation designed to conceal your true potential? Even figures like Elon Musk have publicly pondered the likelihood of our existence within a simulated reality. But could ancient masters have possessed the key to unlocking the simulation's secrets? And if so, why has this knowledge been suppressed? The uncomfortable truth is that throughout history, whispers of ancient wisdom have been systematically silenced. The burning of the Library of Alexandria, a repository of invaluable knowledge, and the suppression of Gnostic texts, which challenged the dominant religious narratives, are but two examples of a deliberate effort to keep humanity in the dark. Could these acts of destruction have been orchestrated to prevent us from accessing a deeper understanding of reality? Some ancient texts even speak of entities known as archons, beings who seek to keep humanity trapped in a lower state of consciousness, further suggesting a hidden battle for our minds. The goal is to keep us from realizing our power in the simulation. Think about it. In our modern world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions, from the endless scroll of social media to the relentless pursuit of material possessions. We seek validation from external sources, chasing fleeting moments of pleasure and recognition. But ancient masters, like the Buddha and the sages of Hinduism, emphasize the importance of inner knowing, self-discovery, and detachment from the material world. They understood that true freedom comes not from external validation, but from within. Are these modern distractions intentionally designed to keep us from questioning the nature of our reality, to keep us docile in the simulation? The simulation theory, once relegated to the realm of science fiction, now offers a compelling framework for understanding these ancient mystical traditions. The Buddhist concept of Maya, the illusion that veils reality, resonates deeply with the idea of a simulated world. Similarly, the Hindu concept of Brahman, the ultimate reality that underlies all existence, can be seen as the source code of the simulation. This suggests that ancient masters were not simply spiritual seekers, but also pioneers who dared to explore the very fabric of reality. How did these ancient masters seemingly bypass the limitations of this simulated reality to achieve enlightenment, manifest extraordinary abilities, and perceive dimensions beyond our everyday senses? Stories abound of masters who could levitate, bilocate, and perform other feats that defy conventional scientific explanation. Could these abilities be evidence of their mastery over the code of the simulation? In this video, we will uncover how these ancient techniques can be used to break free from the limitations of this reality, reprogram the illusion, and tap into your own hidden power. To begin understanding how ancient masters saw beyond the simulation, let's first delve into their core beliefs about the nature of consciousness and its relationship to reality. But if ancient masters possessed a secret, it begins with understanding that consciousness isn't just a byproduct of the brain. It's the fundamental reality, the very fabric of existence that permeates everything. What if your consciousness exists far beyond the confines of your physical body, and even this simulated reality? Ancient Eastern philosophies, such as Buddhism and Hinduism, have long emphasized consciousness as the ground of being, the ultimate reality from which all phenomena arise. This is in stark contrast to the materialistic scientific view that reduces consciousness to a mere epiphenomenon of brain activity. But what if the ancients were right, and consciousness is primary? Here's where it gets interesting. Consider the phenomenon of near-death experiences, NDEs, and out-of-body experiences, OBEs. Think about it. Individuals who have clinically died with no brain activity are able to recount detailed experiences of floating outside their bodies, observing events happening in distant locations, and interacting with deceased loved ones. Studies on NDEs have even shown that some individuals can accurately describe events that occurred far from their physical location, while they were supposedly unconscious. What if these experiences are glimpses beyond the veil, evidence that consciousness can exist independently of the physical body and the simulated world we perceive? Let's explore this further. If consciousness is not localized to the brain, but is instead a non-local phenomenon, then the implications for simulation theory are profound. This suggests that the simulation may not be total, that there's something outside of it. The brain may be more like a receiver, tuning into a universal field of consciousness, rather than a producer of consciousness itself. Think of a radio. It doesn't create the music, it simply receives and translates the signals that are already present. What if the brain does the same with consciousness, receiving and translating information from a source that exists beyond the limitations of this simulated reality? Some even suggest the existence of the Akashic Records, a cosmic library containing all the information of the past, present, and future, accessible through non-local consciousness. Could the Akashic Records be the source code of this entire reality? Here's a simple exercise you can try right now to experience this for yourself. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and focus on your breath, noticing the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. As thoughts arise, simply observe them without judgment, like clouds passing in the sky. Don't try to suppress them or get caught up in their content. Just gently guide your attention back to your breath. After a few minutes, you may begin to experience a sense of expanded awareness, a feeling of detachment from your thinking mind, and a connection to something larger than yourself. This is a glimpse of the true nature of your consciousness. But if consciousness exists outside the simulation, what is the nature of the self that we perceive within it? This leads us to the critical understanding of the illusory nature of the ego. The ancient masters understood that the ego, that sense of I, is not a fixed and permanent entity, but rather a construct, an illusion generated by the simulation to keep us identified with a limited sense of self. What if the ego is merely a program designed to keep us trapped in a cycle of fear, desire, and suffering, obscuring our true nature as infinite, unbounded consciousness? Ancient Buddhist teachings on anatta, or no self, emphasize the impermanence of all things, including the ego. Everything is in constant flux. You are not your memories, your emotions, or your thoughts. These are all temporary phenomena that arise and pass away. Consider this. The ego is largely built upon external validation and societal conditioning. Think about it. We are taught from a young age to define ourselves by our achievements, our possessions, our social status, and our physical appearance. We seek validation from others, craving approval and recognition. But what happens when we lose our job, our wealth, or our physical attractiveness? Our sense of self-worth crumbles, leaving us feeling empty and insecure. In the simulation, this vulnerability makes us susceptible to manipulation. Imagine someone whose entire self-worth is tied to their social media following. They become obsessed with likes and comments, constantly seeking external validation. This makes them easily influenced by advertising, propaganda, and social pressure. Their sense of self becomes completely dependent on the opinions of others, making them a puppet in the hands of the system. Let's dive deeper. The ego creates separation and division, reinforcing the illusion of a fragmented reality within the simulation. It tells us that we are separate from each other, separate from nature, and separate from the divine. This sense of separation leads to competition, conflict, and a relentless pursuit of individual gain. Think of the ego as a character in a video game, believing itself to be separate from the game's source code. It is unaware that it is simply a creation of the programmer, and that its actions are ultimately determined by the game's rules. Similarly, the ego is unaware that it is simply a construct of the simulation, and that its sense of separation is an illusion. Attachment to the ego leads to fear, suffering, and resistance to change. The ego clings to its beliefs, its identity, and its possessions, fearing any threat to its limited sense of self. This resistance to change keeps us trapped in the simulation, preventing us from evolving and realizing our full potential. Here's something you can do to start breaking free from the illusion of ego. Practice self-inquiry, questioning your beliefs and assumptions about yourself. Ask yourself, who am I without my name, my job, my possessions? What beliefs am I holding on to that cause me suffering? What am I truly afraid of? By questioning your limiting beliefs, you can begin to deconstruct the ego and glimpse your true nature as unbounded consciousness. Peel away the layers of conditioning and you will realize your limitless power. However, recognizing the ego as an illusion is not enough. We must also understand how ancient masters harnessed the power of intention to shape their reality and potentially manipulate the code of the simulation. Let's see how intention becomes a master key. Ancient masters understood the power of intention and visualization to manifest their reality, potentially influencing the underlying code of the simulation. What if our thoughts and intentions are not simply mental events, but powerful forces that can shape our physical world? Examples of siddhis, or supernatural abilities in yogic traditions, are attributed to focused intention and meditation. Yogis are said to develop abilities like levitation, telekinesis, and even materialization through focused intention, meditation, and manipulation of subtle energies, influencing matter itself. Could these abilities be evidence of their mastery over the simulation's code? Consider the placebo effect and the scientific studies on the power of prayer and positive affirmations as modern examples of intention influencing physical reality. Think about it. In medical studies, patients who receive a placebo, a sugar pill with no active ingredients, often experience real improvements in their health simply because they believe they are receiving genuine medication. Research shows that positive affirmations can improve athletic performance, boost self-esteem, and even reduce stress levels. What if these effects are not simply psychological, but evidence that our intentions can directly influence our physical reality? One study showed that individuals who prayed for others experienced measurable positive effects on their health and well-being. It seems impossible, but has been replicated. Let's explore the law of attraction from a simulation perspective, where our thoughts and intentions act as programming instructions. Our minds are like computers writing code for the simulation. When we focus our thoughts and intentions on a desired outcome, we are essentially sending a signal to the universe, instructing it to manifest that outcome. This aligns with the concept of syntropy, a force of attraction and organization in the universe, which is the opposite of entropy. Syntropy suggests that the universe is not simply decaying into randomness, but is actively organizing itself towards greater complexity and order. Our intentions, when aligned with this force of syntropy, can act as a powerful catalyst for manifestation. Here's a visualization exercise to help you manifest a desired outcome. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths to relax your body and calm your mind. Now, vividly imagine your desired outcome as if it has already happened. See it, feel it, hear it, smell it, and taste it. Engage all of your senses to create a clear and compelling mental image. Feel the emotions associated with achieving your desired outcome, such as joy, gratitude, and excitement. Hold this image in your mind for a few minutes, focusing on the feeling of already having what you desire. This technique, when practiced regularly, can help you align your thoughts and intentions with the underlying code of the simulation, increasing the likelihood of manifestation. As we've seen, ancient masters harnessed the power of their minds to shape reality. But here's where it gets more intriguing. Some ancient texts describe entities who seek to keep humans trapped in a lower state of consciousness, preventing them from realizing their full potential. It's time to consider these archontic forces and their role in maintaining the simulation. But even with deliberate attempts to hide the truth, ancient masters found ways to preserve and transmit their knowledge through symbols, allegories, and esoteric practices. This leads us to explore how these methods acted as keys to unlock deeper understandings of reality and bypass the limitations of the simulation. What if the secrets to escaping the simulation have been right in front of us all along, hidden in plain sight, encoded within the very myths and symbols we've been taught to dismiss as mere superstition? Could ancient myths and symbols hold hidden keys to understanding the true nature of reality and our place within it? Think about it. From the Egyptian pyramids to the Mayan calendar, ancient civilizations invested tremendous resources in creating symbolic structures and systems that seem to defy simple explanation. What if these weren't just primitive attempts at art or record-keeping, but sophisticated maps of consciousness, designed to guide initiates through the labyrinth of the simulation? The answer is clearly yes. The knowledge is already there, passed down through the ages to those with eyes to see. Let's consider the use of symbolism in ancient religions, mystery schools, and esoteric traditions, highlighting recurring motifs such as the serpent, the eye, and the labyrinth. The serpent, for example, appears in countless cultures, from the Garden of Eden to the Mayan feathered serpent god Quetzalcoatl. In some contexts, it represents temptation and deception, as in the biblical story. But in others, it symbolizes wisdom, healing, and transformation, as in the caduceus, the symbol of medicine. The eye, often depicted as the all-seeing eye, can represent both divine awareness and the controlling gaze of the system. The labyrinth, with its twisting paths and hidden center, can symbolize the journey of self-discovery or the complex structure of the simulation itself. Consider the story of Theseus and the Minotaur, where Theseus uses a thread to navigate the labyrinth and slay the monster. What if the thread represents the power of consciousness, guiding us through the maze of the simulation and helping us overcome our inner demons? The all-seeing eye represents the awareness that is always present. The monster represents all the things holding you back. This wisdom has been passed down for generations, but most people don't know what to do with it. Here's where it gets interesting. These symbolic systems act as a language of the soul, communicating directly to the subconscious mind and bypassing the filters of the ego and the simulation's programming. The truth is that the subconscious mind is far more receptive to symbols and metaphors than to logical arguments or rational explanations. This is because symbols tap into our archetypal patterns of thought and feeling, triggering deep emotional responses and intuitive insights. In other words, symbols are like compressed files of knowledge that can be unpacked and understood through intuition and insight. Imagine a dream filled with bizarre imagery and illogical scenarios. On the surface, it may seem meaningless. But if you delve deeper, you may discover that it's communicating important messages about your fears, desires, and unresolved conflicts. Similarly, ancient myths and symbols can reveal hidden truths about ourselves and the nature of reality, if we know how to interpret them. Practices like meditation, yoga, and alchemy were designed to unlock these symbolic codes and access higher states of consciousness, allowing practitioners to perceive reality beyond the limitations of the simulation. What if the alchemists weren't just trying to turn lead into gold, but were actually seeking to transform their own consciousness, transmuting their limited egos into enlightened beings? They were. Let's make this practical. Study ancient symbols and myths, paying attention to their personal resonance and intuitive understanding. Choose a symbol or myth that resonates with you and meditate on its meaning and implications. The next time you see a symbol that captures your attention, whether it's in a dream, a work of art, or a natural setting, pause and reflect on what it might be trying to tell you. What feelings does it evoke? What thoughts does it trigger? Don't try to analyze it logically or rationally, but simply allow yourself to experience it fully. Engage in practices like dream journaling and active imagination to access your subconscious understanding of symbolic language. The goal is to develop a more intuitive and receptive relationship with the symbolic world, allowing it to guide you towards deeper truths and insights. Explore practices like dream journaling and active imagination to access your subconscious understanding of symbolic language. Keep a dream journal by your bed and write down your dreams as soon as you wake up, paying attention to recurring symbols, emotions, and narratives. But how do we know if we are truly interpreting these symbols correctly, and not simply projecting our own biases and interpretations onto them? This brings us to the crucial role of personal gnosis and direct experience in validating our understanding of reality and escaping the simulation's control. Is it possible to know the truth about the simulation, or are we doomed to remain trapped in a hall of mirrors, endlessly reflecting our own limited perspectives? The path to escaping the simulation starts with the realization that you already have everything you need to break free. Can you trust what others tell you about reality, or must you experience it for yourself to know the truth? The truth is that for centuries, ancient masters have emphasized personal gnosis, direct, experiential knowledge as the ultimate validation of truth, surpassing reliance on external authorities or simulated realities. What if the answers you seek are not to be found in books, gurus, or scientific studies, but within your own direct experience of reality? All you need to do is look inside yourself and realize the truth. Consider anecdotes of mystics, shamans, or spiritual seekers who achieved profound insights through direct experience, such as spontaneous awakenings or transformative visions. The truth is that many spiritual traditions describe moments of sudden enlightenment, where individuals experience a complete and irreversible shift in consciousness, perceiving reality with unprecedented clarity and understanding. Think about accounts of individuals who experienced profound shifts in consciousness after engaging in intense meditation or spiritual practices. These experiences often involve a sense of unity with all things, a dissolution of the ego, and a direct perception of the underlying reality that transcends the limitations of the senses and the rational mind. It's like breaking through the walls of a prison and seeing the world as it truly is. Direct experience has been available since the dawn of time, and yet most people don't know where to look to find it. Let's go even further. Direct experience bypasses the simulation's filters and programming, allowing us to perceive reality as it truly is, unfiltered by the ego or societal conditioning. To put it another way, personal gnosis is like seeing the source code of the simulation directly, rather than relying on the game's interface. Imagine you're playing a video game, and you suddenly realize that you're not just controlling a character on the screen, but that you are the programmer, the creator of the entire world. That's the kind of shift in perspective that direct experience can provide. This is because practices like sensory deprivation, fasting, and altered states of consciousness can facilitate direct experience and challenge our perceived reality. The truth is that when we strip away the distractions of the external world, we create the space for our true nature to emerge. Think of the vision quests of Native American traditions, where individuals would venture into the wilderness, fasting and meditating for days, seeking direct communion with the spirit world. What if these practices are not just cultural rituals, but powerful tools for accessing higher states of consciousness and breaking free from the limitations of the simulation? So how do you do this? Experiment with practices that promote direct experience, such as mindfulness, nature immersion, or creative expression. Try this. Spend time in nature, observing your surroundings with focused attention and without judgment. The next time you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, step outside and take a few deep breaths, noticing the colors, sounds, and smells around you. Engage in activities that bring you into the present moment, such as painting, dancing, or playing music. The key is to cultivate a state of open awareness, where you're not trying to achieve anything or change anything, but simply observing and experiencing reality as it is. By cultivating direct experience, you can begin to validate your own understanding of reality and break free from the control of the simulation. The next time you feel lost or confused, take a moment to connect with your inner knowing, trusting that you already have the answers you seek. Now that we've explored the historical suppression of knowledge, the power of symbols, and the importance of personal experience, let's connect all the points and provide clarity. How do all of these elements fit together, and what do they tell us about the nature of the simulation and our ability to escape it? We're just scratching the surface of what's possible when you realize that all of these things are directly accessible. We'll explore this more in depth later. If the simulation wants to contain you, what tools would it use to do it? Consider how modern society is structured. A constant barrage of information, addictive technologies like social media, and an incessant emphasis on external validation. Could this constant distraction be an intentional method of control, or simply a byproduct of the simulation's inherent nature? Let's delve into the simulation's defense mechanisms and how they prevent access to higher consciousness. Think about the last time you spent hours scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to others and craving likes and validation. Or consider the endless stream of news, advertisements, and entertainment vying for your attention. Is this a coincidence or a calculated strategy to keep you distracted from the deeper questions about reality? The truth is that these mechanisms reinforce your ego and identification with the material world, effectively preventing you from realizing your true nature. It's like living in a prison where the inmates are kept content with entertainment and material possessions, never questioning their confinement. The more identified you are with your ego, your job, your possessions, your social status, the less likely you are to question the simulation. Consumerism, competition, and fear-based narratives all contribute to this effect, creating a sense of scarcity and insecurity that keeps you trapped in a cycle of wanting more. But what if you realize that all of this is just a game, a set of rules designed to keep you playing along? The controllers are real, but you don't have to play the game. Let's make this practical. Identify your personal distractions and consciously create space for stillness, reflection, and inner connection. Limit your social media use, practice mindful breathing, and spend time in nature. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding by staying busy? What limiting beliefs are being reinforced by my daily habits? Keep a journal and challenge those beliefs. Even 15 minutes a day can make a massive difference, and you may be surprised by how quickly the fog begins to clear. Even with these defenses in place, indications suggest the simulation may be shifting a glitch or upgrade, leading to potential awakening. Let's explore clues suggesting a critical phase in the simulation's evolution. What if the simulation is reaching its limits and the old rules no longer apply? What if the simulation is reaching its limits and the old rules no longer apply? The very idea might seem like science fiction, but consider the increasing signs and anomalies suggesting a shift or upgrade, potentially leading to widespread awakening. The popularity of esoteric and spiritual topics is growing, and more people are rejecting mainstream narratives and seeking alternative explanations. Could this be a sign that the simulation is starting to unravel? Let's dive into why this may be the case. Think about the rise of independent media, the growth of mindfulness practices, and the increasing questioning of authority figures. Consider the surge of interest in topics like simulation theory, quantum physics, and ancient mysteries, which challenge our conventional understanding of reality. What if these are all symptoms of a larger shift in collective consciousness, a sign that humanity is waking up from its slumber? Just like in The Matrix, Nia saw the code and could not unsee it. These shifts may be triggering glitches in the simulation, synchronicities, Mandela effects, and other unexplained phenomena that cause people to question their perception of reality. The simulation is like a computer program with bugs, becoming more apparent as it's pushed to its limits. What if these glitches are not random occurrences, but deliberate attempts by the simulation to nudge us towards awakening? Consider the Mandela effect, where large groups of people share the same false memories, such as the spelling of the Berenstain Bears or the exact quote from Star Wars, "No, I am your father." What if these inconsistencies are not simply errors in our memory, but evidence of a shifting reality, glitches in the simulation's code? These glitches may be opportunities to peek behind the curtain, but it's up to you to choose to investigate. Here's what the masters have to say. The ancient yogis of India understood that the universe is in a constant state of flux, with reality being nothing more than a projection of consciousness. They developed practices like meditation and yoga to quiet the mind and perceive the underlying reality beyond the illusion of the senses. Similarly, the Taoists of ancient China sought to align themselves with the natural flow of the Tao, recognizing that reality is not fixed or static, but ever-changing and interconnected. Even the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus famously said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man." Here's how you apply this to your life. Pay attention to synchronicities and intuitive insights, recognizing them as breadcrumbs leading to a deeper understanding. Keep a synchronicity journal, noting patterns and recurring themes in your life. Trust your intuition and gut feelings, especially when they contradict logical thought. Ask yourself, what is the universe trying to tell me? What hidden connections am I missing? Are you living in accordance with synchronicity? Now that we've explored defense mechanisms and shifting signs, it's time to bring it all together and to uncover the methods the ancient masters used to break through and unlock the truth. Section 14. Ancient Practices for Simulation Transcendence Meditation. What if meditation is the off switch to the simulation's constant noise, a way to regain control of your attention and perception? Ancient masters understood that quieting the mind was the key to unlocking deeper levels of reality, and that meditation was the most direct path to achieve that stillness. But is it just a relaxation technique, or something far more profound? Let's look at how meditation can grant access to the code of the simulation. Consider the scientific evidence of meditation's effects on brainwave patterns. Studies have shown that regular meditation practice can shift brainwave activity from the faster beta waves, associated with active thinking and anxiety, to slower alpha and theta waves, which are associated with relaxation, creativity, and altered states of consciousness. Think about it. These altered states are often described as feeling more connected, more aware, and more present. Could this be a sign that meditation is allowing us to bypass the simulation's filters and perceive reality more directly? What is the simulation hiding that we aren't supposed to see? Here's the key. Meditation enables direct perception of consciousness, revealing the illusory nature of thoughts and emotions generated by the simulation. Those thoughts and emotions, constantly vying for your attention, are part of the simulated reality. By creating space between the observer and the observed, meditation allows you to see these thoughts for what they are: fleeting constructs, not fundamental truths. It's like defragmenting a computer, clearing out unnecessary files and optimizing performance. The files are your thoughts, constantly bombarding your mind and draining your energy. Meditation clears those files out of your RAM, opening the door to higher-level thinking. By observing thoughts without judgment, you begin to see the patterns and programs that are running in the background. Let's put this into practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, either on a chair or on the floor with your back straight. Close your eyes gently and bring your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. As thoughts arise, simply observe them without getting carried away. Don't judge them, don't analyze them, just let them pass like clouds in the sky. If your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Start with just 5 minutes a day and gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable. You'll be surprised by how quickly you begin to experience a sense of calm and clarity. As powerful as meditation is, it's not the only tool ancient masters used. Now, let's turn our attention to breathwork and how it can alter your state. Section 15. Ancient Practices for Simulation Transcendence Breathwork. What if your breath holds the key to unlocking hidden dimensions of reality? A direct interface with the simulation's energy flow. Ancient masters from various traditions understood the power of breathwork to alter consciousness, access deeper levels of awareness, and manipulate the subtle energies within the body. But how can something as simple as breathing have such a profound effect? Consider the specific breathwork techniques used in yoga and other traditions, such as pranayama and holotropic breathwork. Pranayama, for example, involves various breathing exercises designed to purify the energy channels and balance the nervous system. Holotropic breathwork, on the other hand, uses rapid, deep breathing to induce altered states of consciousness and facilitate emotional release. Think about how different breathing patterns can affect your body. Slow, deep breathing can calm the nervous system, while rapid, shallow breathing can trigger the stress response. The masters understood the link between breath and prana. Could this manipulation of the nervous system be the way to take control of the system? Breathwork directly affects the autonomic nervous system, influencing heart rate variability, brainwave activity, and the release of neurotransmitters, ultimately influencing how the simulation is perceived. By consciously controlling your breath, you can directly influence your physiological state and your perception of reality. It's like a software update, recalibrating the body's operating system and enhancing its capabilities. Different breathing techniques can act like different software programs, each designed to achieve a specific outcome. But here's the key: breath is prana. By mastering your breath, you are mastering prana, the vital life force that animates the body and connects you to the universe. Perhaps the simulation draws power from this force. Here's a simple breathwork exercise you can try right now. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. Close your eyes gently and bring your attention to your breath. Try alternate nostril breathing. Close your right nostril with your thumb and inhale deeply through your left nostril. Then, close your left nostril with your ring finger and exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through your right nostril, then close it and exhale through your left nostril. Continue alternating nostrils for 510 minutes, noticing the effects on your body and mind. As you breathe, visualize that you are breathing in light and exhaling darkness. Having the power of your breath is key. Now let's see what physical postures can do. Section 16. Ancient Practices for Simulation Transcendence Yoga. Can physical movement be a pathway to spiritual freedom within the simulation? A way to unlock the body's hidden potential and connect with the underlying reality. Ancient masters developed yoga as a holistic system of physical postures, breathing techniques, and ethical guidelines designed to purify the body, focus the mind, and align with the true self. But is it just a form of exercise, or a powerful tool for transcending the limitations of the simulation? Consider the history and origins of yoga, which can be traced back thousands of years to ancient India. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, a foundational text on yoga philosophy, outlines a system of self-discipline and self-awareness designed to quiet the mind and achieve liberation. Think about the specific yoga postures and their effects on the body. Poses like downward-facing dog can improve circulation, reduce stress, and increase energy levels. Could these poses be more than just physical exercises? Could they be keys to unlocking the body's hidden energy channels? Yoga enhances the connection between mind and body, facilitating the flow of energy and dissolving blockages that keep us trapped in the simulation's limitations. It's like a tune-up for the body, optimizing its performance and enhancing its connection to the universe. Specific yoga poses can open up energy channels, nadis, and stimulate specific chakras, energy centers, allowing prana, the vital life force, to flow more freely. By aligning your body, mind, and spirit, you are essentially recalibrating your instrument, making it more receptive to the subtle vibrations of reality. If we can learn to master these energy centers, can we learn to change our location in the simulation? Let's put this into practice with a simple yoga sequence. Find a comfortable space where you can move freely. Wear loose clothing and roll out a yoga mat or towel. Start with a few rounds of sun salutations, flowing through poses like mountain pose, forward fold, downward facing dog, and cobra pose. Focus on your breath as you move, coordinating your movements with your inhalations and exhalations. Listen to your body and modify the poses as needed. Hold each pose for a few breaths, feeling the stretch and the release. As you practice, visualize that you are purifying your body, clearing out any blockages that are keeping you from connecting with your true self. With a connection to the body, mind, and spirit, let's now look at the importance of light. Section 17. Utilizing light, ancient techniques for perception. What if manipulating light could help you see through the simulation, revealing the underlying code that governs your reality? Ancient masters understood the profound connection between light and consciousness, utilizing light in various practices to enhance perception and break free from the simulated reality. But is light just a physical phenomenon, or something far more? Reference ancient mystery schools, such as those in Egypt and Greece, that used light and shadow to initiate students into deeper knowledge. These schools often constructed sacred spaces that were aligned with solstices and equinoxes, harnessing the power of sunlight to create specific energetic effects. Think about the construction of these sacred spaces, carefully designed to capture and manipulate light in specific ways. Could these structures be more than just architectural marvels? Could they be ancient devices designed to alter consciousness? Light, as both a physical and metaphysical phenomenon, is key to understanding the simulation, affecting our perception of reality and influencing our consciousness. Light is the rendering engine of the simulation. Controlling it is like manipulating the graphics card of a computer. Practices like sun gazing, done safely, of course, never look directly at the sun during peak hours, and focused visualization of light can alter consciousness. By consciously engaging with light, you can directly influence your perception of reality and potentially even manipulate the simulation's code. The controllers wouldn't want you to know this. Is that why it's so dangerous to look directly at the sun? Here's how to incorporate light into your daily routine. Spend time in nature, observing the colors and patterns of light as they shift throughout the day. Watch the sunrise or sunset, paying attention to the subtle nuances of the light. Visualize white light filling your body, dissolving any blockages or negativity. Close your eyes and imagine a radiant sun shining within you, filling every cell with its golden energy. As you visualize this light, feel its warmth and its power. These practices are all building blocks to get us to the underlying truth of the simulation, to the core of reality itself. We have covered tools to adjust ourselves. Next, we'll see the importance of vibration as an element of the simulation itself. Section 18. Conclusion: reclaiming your reality. As we peel back the layers of this simulation, we begin to see that the ancient masters weren't just spiritual seekers. They were reality hackers. They understood the fundamental nature of consciousness, intentionality, and energy manipulation, not as abstract concepts, but as tools to navigate and transcend the limitations of their perceived reality. This is a shift in perspective that transforms everything, as these techniques allow for the altering of one's own perception. But how do these ancient teachings translate into our modern, technology-driven world? Think back to where we started, with the unsettling possibility that our reality might not be what it seems. From there, we question the nature of consciousness, moving from the common belief that it's a mere byproduct of the brain to the radical understanding that it's fundamental, perhaps even existing outside the simulation itself. We journeyed from identifying with the ego, that chattering voice in our heads, to recognizing the simulated self, a construct designed to keep us trapped in a limited perspective. We moved from being subject to the system, blindly following its rules, to intentionally influencing and even manipulating the code of reality, bending it to our will. We touched upon the existence of archontic forces, entities that seek to keep humanity in a lower state of consciousness, and the suppressed historical record, the deliberate concealment of ancient wisdom. These pieces are all interconnected. The answer to our central question is this: ancient masters bypassed the simulation by understanding its nature and mastering consciousness, intentionality, and energy manipulation. Their methods, meditation, breathwork, yoga, and working with light, provided a direct path to gnosis, to direct experiential knowledge of the truth, bypassing the filters and distortions of the simulated reality. They weren't just seeking enlightenment, they were rewriting the rules of the game. How else could near-impossible feats be explained? Escaping the simulation isn't just about finding a loophole or glitch in the system. It's about embracing true human potential and freedom. Questioning reality isn't about nihilism or despair. It's about empowering yourself to create a better world, starting with your own inner landscape. Understanding these concepts is a crucial step in reclaiming our true nature, in remembering who we truly are beyond the limitations of the simulation. It's a process of self-discovery, a journey of awakening, and the only way out. Section 19. Unveiling the truth and empowering the viewer with the insights we've uncovered. The potential for personal transformation and liberation is immense. You are not just a player in the game. You are a co-creator of the simulation. You have the power to influence its code, to reshape its reality, and to transcend its limitations. But how do you know if you're on the right track? What are the signs that you're breaking free? Pay attention to the simulation glitches, those synchronicities, déjà vu experiences, Mandela effects, and intuitive hits that seem to defy logic and reason. These aren't random occurrences. They're markers, signs that you're tapping into something deeper, that you're glimpsing the underlying reality beneath the surface of the simulation. Trust your intuition, your inner knowing, for it is more powerful than any external authority. It's the voice of your true self, guiding you towards liberation. Remember, accessing hidden knowledge is a key to unlocking your potential. The ancient practices we discussed, meditation, breathwork, yoga, and working with light, are not just ancient relics. They are tools for hacking the simulation, for rewriting its code, and for creating a new reality. Integrate these practices into your daily life, and you'll begin to experience profound shifts in your perception and your power. As you tap into these practices and start accessing hidden knowledge, you'll begin to understand that the ancient masters may not have used the term simulation, but their teachings point to the same underlying truth, that reality is not what it seems. They were describing the same phenomenon using different language. This is not just about escaping a prison. It's about building a new world. We break free from illusion, reclaim our power, and create a better world, starting within. Freedom begins with questioning, with challenging the assumptions that have been programmed into our minds. It's time to rewrite the code. Section 20. Living beyond the simulation walls. The archons and other such controllers may try to keep us trapped in a lower state of consciousness, but they cannot control our consciousness unless we give them permission. The power to transcend lies within each individual, a spark of divinity that cannot be extinguished. Even if the future is uncertain, we can make the conscious choice to live authentically, aligned with our values and our true nature, despite the unknown. What better way to rebel against them? Living consciously and intentionally is the ultimate act of rebellion against the simulation. It's about taking responsibility for your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, and refusing to be a passive player in the game. It's about choosing love over fear, truth over deception, and freedom over control. It is about breaking free of the system. Meditation, breathwork, yoga, and working with light are not just ancient practices. They are tools for hacking the simulation, for rewriting the code of your reality. Use them wisely, and you'll begin to see the world in a whole new light. You can learn to see through the smoke and mirrors. You can manipulate this world with your mind, as the masters of old did. We are stronger together. Connect with others who are awakening, who are questioning the nature of reality, and who are seeking to create a better world. Share your experiences, your insights, and your struggles. Support each other on this journey, and together, we can create a ripple effect that transforms the entire planet. Don't let yourself be alone. The potential manipulation we discussed earlier is not a cause for despair, but an opportunity for growth and empowerment. It's a challenge to rise above the limitations of the simulation and to reclaim our true potential as conscious creators. Section 21. Call to action and resonant closing. Continue questioning your beliefs, practice the techniques we discussed, and share your insights with others. Join a community of like-minded individuals, start a daily meditation practice, or delve into the suppressed historical record. Contemplate which truth resonated most deeply with you and seek its root in your own life. How can it change the way you live? Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploration. I deeply appreciate you taking the time to consider these ideas. I hope that this exploration has helped you in a meaningful way. You have the power to reshape the simulation and remember the world beyond it. Now go and live it. In future videos, we will explore advanced techniques for lucid dreaming and reality shifting, as well as delve into specific hidden historical events that challenge our understanding of the past. So stay tuned and keep questioning.